Oh, thanks. All right, so this is my portfolio. To be honest, with this new software, I'm like squinting. I'm having a hard time reading this. Can you see this clearly, Riz?
No, I think I'm going to go on full mode and then I can see everything and then
Well,
erase it.
I really hope the audience can see it. I'll squint. I'll even put on my glasses and age myself. All right, so anyway, I know my portfolio quite well. So it's roughly $36 million today. And like I literally took the first property my mom bought me and my sister, not really knowing what I was doing, went and bought another property. And I'm like, okay, I've got all this equity. Went and bought my first investment property, found out what refinancing was, refinanced my property 16 years ago, bought an Audi A5. I was like, this is amazing. I don't have to pay any taxes, bought myself a nice car, went and bought 2 more condos, and I've just refied and repeated. Now I've had a very good run. The Toronto real estate market and the markets I've been investing, I've had a very good run. But the main thing, reason for that success has really been the amount of time I've invested for. I didn't start cashing in until probably year 12, year 13. And, this is here in my portfolio. So let me show you this. So today, the value is roughly $36 million. There's a tremendous amount of debt on that. At 4% compounded growth, if I did nothing today, the portfolio would be worth $79 million. So these are big numbers. Like I'm just saying, I've done my 20 years of grinding. I'm going to take it easy, pass it on to my kids. If I did nothing, 4% compounded growth, very, very conservative. I'm almost, well, more than doubling in 20 years. Now, I'll just go through this quickly. 30 years, 117 million. The numbers kind of get a little obnoxious. The reason why I did 120 years here is because I am not going to sell this. This portfolio is going to generate wealth for me and my family for many, many, many years, long after I am gone. It's going to generate cash flow, and it's going to be able to pay out through a trust in a way that doesn't allow my kids to, blow the money. So that's why I get excited. That's why I share 120 years, because these are real numbers. Now, if you take 6.7%, which is the actual historical 50-year average, in 20 years, just 20 years doing nothing, I'm talking about $133 million. I won't even say that number because it just seems too hard to believe. But that's the numbers. That is the power of what we're talking about here and what real estate can really do. And you don't have to do it on the level that I did it. You can do it on a much smaller level, and it'll still change your life. Very quickly, my last part. So, my clients used to be burnt out multi-residential investors who are like, there's an easier way. Let's invest in condos. Now it's mom and pop investors. They're realizing that their children may be priced out of the market, or they have equity, and equity is able to get them their place in the market. So our clients mainly are mom and pop investors now. And let me just give you an example why this is so important for the mom and pop investor to consider investing for their children's future. So rent versus buy today, deciding between renting a condo for $2,200 today with a 4% annual increase, or purchasing a $500,000 condo. The choice impacts more than life. It's foundational to building wealth. So the breakdown over 10 years. That rent scenario would cost $316,000 with no equity gain, nothing. The ownership cost would cost $2,500 a month, so a little bit more than renting. That'd be your mortgage and fees. When you factor in a 6% annualized appreciation, the condo's value could rise to approximately $900,000. Your mortgage paydown contributes to roughly $85,000. So the difference between renting and owning over just 10 years is life-altering, absolutely life-altering. So building equity, ownership could generate approximately $500,000 in equity through appreciation and debt reduction, setting a strong foundation for future investments, future opportunities. Equity position your child to upgrade to a $2.5 million home. So, I was able to take that first property that I bought, or my mom got for me, and I was able to turn that into the home I live in today, which, over a long period of time has allowed me to buy a nice home, and I'm very fortunate for that. So, I just want to use that to use an example of why this is so important for everyone listening to invest in not only their future, but their children's future. RBC's been talking about it. CIBC's been talking about it. It's no secret that homes are generating the most amount of wealth for Canadians. So Canadians are wealthy generally through the equity in their homes. And a lot of people are using that to pass on to their children so they can become homeowners.